Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending on where you are in the world. This is Gloria White, and I am coming to you from Utah, USA. No, just kidding. And all of a sudden, my camera went fuzzy. I'm having communication issues. Houston, can you read me? Come in, over. This is an artist's conception of a lunar lander operated by Vodafone and Nokia that would bring 4G cellular communications and robotic rovers to the moon. This is image courtesy of Vodafone. Now, I seem to remember something that the president is always saying, something about America first. Like buy America, made in America. And even on the White House website, it says, America First Energy Policy, America First Foreign Policy. However, when you go to space, that policy is new and different. This is coming out of Orlando, Florida, October 15th by UPI. NASA will fund a project by Nokia to build a 4G cellular communication network on the moon with $14.1 million, the space agency announced. That project was part of $370 million in new contracts for lunar surface research missions NASA announced Wednesday. Most of the money went to large space companies like SpaceX, United Launch Alliance, to perfect techniques, get this, to make and handle rocket propellant in space. Seems to me I remember that in 1965, the United States was the first country to land on the moon. They used rocket propellant, of course. And then they went back in 1972 and, used rocket propellant again. And then we built an International Space Station. And, we go there all the time using, rocket propellant. So why in the world would you need $355.9 million to perfect those techniques? And using $14.1 million, why would you build a 4G cellular communication network on the moon? Why wouldn't you do 5G to begin with? I mean, you haven't been there. You haven't even built the rover. Why wouldn't you create a 5G technology to take to the moon? Inquiring minds want to know. The space agency must quickly develop new technologies for living and working on the moon if it wants to realize its goal to have astronauts working at a lunar base by 2028, NASA Administrator Jim Bridenstine said in a live broadcast. We need power systems that can last a long time on the surface of the moon, and we need habitation capability for the surface, Bridenstine said. Nokia of North America received the contract for the Lunar Communication Project. Finland-based parent company Nokia owns the U.S. subsidiary. Nokia and British firm Vodafone had announced their goal for a moon mission in 2018. That was like, 2 years ago? They plan to launch a lander and rovers built by OUTTA, utilizing a SpaceX rocket. Had SpaceX even been to the moon with their rocket? No. At the time, the company said they would set down near the Apollo 17 landing site and have rovers examine the lunar roving vehicle, or moon buggy, astronauts left behind in 1972. That launch never happened. What? But we're going to give them $14.1 million, and that launch never happened? But the new contract breathes life into Nokia's plan for moon projects, or moon fantasies, or however you'd like to prefer that. The system could support lunar surface communications at greater distances, increase speeds, and provide more reliability than current standards, NASA noted in its contract award announcement. You know, they're so proud to be giving away our hard-earned tax dollars. Oh, pie in the sky, man. Okay, having cellular service on the moon could support communication between, lunar landers, rovers, habitants, and astronauts, said Jim Reuter, Associate Administrator for NASA's Space Technology Mission Directorate. The system could also extend to spacecraft, Reuter said. With NASA funding, Nokia would look at how terrestrial technology could be made, for the lunar environment to support reliable high-rate communications. Yeah, I'd like to have that down here on Earth. I can't get reception on the corner. Nokia didn't respond to questions about the intended landing site for the company's first mission. NASA hasn't decided on a landing site for the agency's Artemis missions, but Bridenstine reiterated Wednesday that the target is near water ice deposits on the lunar South Pole. The contracts are geared toward NASA's Tipping Point program, which funds technologies that, if demonstrated successfully, are likely to be adopted by private industry. Who's paying for this development? Does that make us shareholders? Are we going to get a piece of the pie? No. We want to build the lunar infrastructure that is going to enable an international partnership for the biggest, broadest, most diverse, inclusive coalition of researchers and explorers in the history of mankind, Bridenstine said. Yeah, well, that would be historic because it doesn't exist now, so it would be the biggest, it would be the broadest, it would be the most diverse, inclusive coalition. Yeah, if they can only get there. Other technologies funded Wednesday include demonstrations of lunar surface power generation and energy storage. Houston-based Initiative Machines, for example, will develop a hopping robot that can launch and carry small payloads from one lunar site to another. A hopping robot. Are we paying for that? And Alpha Space, also based in Houston, will create a small laboratory that could land on the moon's surface and allow researchers to study how the extreme temperatures and radiation affects materials and electronics. I thought we, knew that it was extreme weather on the moon. And I know I just heard recently that there's information about the radiation being very high. And couldn't you just put something out in the desert or, expose it to radiation and see how it would react without spending, that much money to go to space to figure it out? Oh, man. Now, NASA's 16 women astronauts, at least one likely to walk on the moon. Hey. But she didn't beat the first woman to the Supreme Court, did she? Ha ha. Anyway, folks, as always, I love you.